Hey everybody, welcome to the Real Housewives of New Jersey, Season 13, Episode 7, recap with myself, Russell Ray, and my co-host with the most, Ronnie Jr. How you doing today, Ronnie?
Hey there, you got a great little setup there. The intro, the whole thing looks very professional, but would I expect anything less? This guy, let me do the humble brag real quick. Russell Ray, not only on the YouTube space now, the YouTube streets, but he also had a television show on Peacock streaming when it first came out. This was a big to-do. It was called Create the Escape. Now, he might not tell it to you, but I'm going to tell it. So listen, if you're already a big fan of Bravo, like you are, because we're watching New Jersey Housewives, you watch all the behind the scenes stuff or some of the old stuff on Peacock streaming. Why don't you go and check out Peacock Streaming's Create the Escape, where you'll see Russell as like a host, design expert, all the things. So I got to shout you out. And I'm excited to talk about this episode because I may have slightly difference of opinion with the cast member I used to love.
Ooh.
And now I just love. That's it. Yeah, it's little demotion.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't wait to find out about that. I can't wait to find out about that. Also, just in
it's
case
not
you
who you
didn't
think.
know, Ronnie Jr. is on 94.7. What?
Oh, okay. So now we're just humble bragging each other.
Wait,
Okay,
what?
so
It's the beat, right?
no. So in New York City, it's close. In New York City, there's a radio station by the queen of all queens from Queens,
Jonesy in the morning, baby.
Miss Jones, Jonesy in the morning. It's a really good radio show, and luckily I've been able to sort of finagle my way and be a part of that. It's not a thing I do 5 days a week, but I am what is the housewife term? On Housewives, you're like a full-time or you're a friend of. So I would say hopefully on Jonesy in the morning, 94.7 The Block, I am a friend of. But it's been a real good time, and I will tell you, I might be doing another New York trip pretty soon to kind of make some moves, as people say.
Look, I've been tempted to bring out our New York photos and videos from when we would go out, but I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
Let's keep that away so
that was a good level of bar hopping in Hell's Kitchen. I mean, we were everywhere, but like that was like I'm not that young to be doing it anymore.
That was our before fame days, so we can't let those pictures and videos come out. Luckily, they're in a different iCloud. But without further ado, let's get right into the episode. If you're joining us today, welcome. If it's your first time, how you doing? Please don't forget to subscribe. We are broadcasting on 3 different YouTube channels today for the first time. So Russell X Raymond, and then you can do randomly Ronnie Jr. And you can also head over to Pop Culture POV and get your Housewife New Jersey.
Yeah, don't get mad at us. We just look for the long checks in the future. Like, I mean, just because I'm taking care of my stuff, don't get mad at me. No, but we are streaming live a bunch of places, and live streams are fun. When Russell and I first started doing our shows together, we started with Miami, and that was more pre-recorded. And there's just something really excited about being able to do it live. There is the fan interaction, and the comments have also been really intriguing too. Somebody tried to come for me last week, Russell.
Who tried to come for you?
I mean, they didn't really try to come for me, but as we know, historically, I'm not a Jennifer Aiden fan, right?
Yes.
And someone in the comments, I was going to pull it up, but I'm like, let's not give that much attention or shine. And I'm also not mad at the person either. But the funny thing that they stated was like, oh, well, you're saying this about Jennifer Aiden, and you're saying this, and you're saying this, and you're saying this. If you don't like her, just say that, as if I'm bashful with my words. What I was saying to this person was Jennifer Aiden usually makes my spleen hurt. However, on that episode, when they were in therapy with Dr. Bill, her husband, I thought there was some redeeming qualities. So the notion that I was, bashful about the words that I was using, no, Jennifer Aiden has been lackluster since day one. That will never change. I mean, imagine what Bill has to deal with. So just so we're clear, no, I said I don't really appreciate her. But if a couple of 5 kids, and they're young kids too, are in therapy trying to get things better, I'll never knock that. So I just thought that was the funniest thing, that they were like trying to indicate that I'm not gonna talk or speak my mind.
Look, I was on Instagram this week, and all types of people came for me because I had something to say about a certain rap artist who was known as a snitch. And it was just,
my goodness,
what have you done for the Hispanic community? Baby, I am the Hispanic community. I put a face for Hispanic television host on Peacock TV. That's what I've done for the community. And as I continue to build, I'm building my network specifically to give Hispanic descendants a place in television so that we can prosper and move forward and continue our careers. So
Yeah.
you're welcome for anybody who decided to come for me on that as you stay home and go to
No.
midnight meetings, but we won't talk anymore
Wait,
about that.
but you know what? There is a positive in that, because the thing is, like, a lot of times people are saying the same thing. We want to see fantastic, a huge assemblage of Latino faces in all the arts, you know, within acting, within producing, behind the scenes, within television hosting, within music. So really, I don't know, we'll go off camera later and talk about what you're talking about, but I don't really know that the argument that they were presenting was necessary. What you're trying to talk about, and what we talk about a lot, is we want to see that variety of people on television and in these creative spaces. So that was kind of a really silly thing. But then again, you know, I don't mess with TikTok. So
you know,
there you go.
keyboard warriors are just something of today's generation, but you meet me in the streets.
No. Well, what did Marsha P used to say? Pay them no mind. Marsha, pay them
you
no
know what?
mind.
I actually
Johnson.
blocked them. I was like, boop, block. I commented back. I let him read it, and I said, boop, block. I ain't got no time for you, and I ain't got no time for your.
You know who I can't imagine? I can't imagine being a Jersey housewife right now. This gigantic show, the way the social media jumps at them. So even if I don't like somebody, just so we're clear, I do have a little bit of a sympathy, because I'm just gonna make a nice playful commentary. I've done broadcast since 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It's with a grain of salt, but some people are really, really interesting on those social media platforms. So I'll give a moment to say, hopefully you don't think I'm walking it back, but I'll give a moment to say, I give all the ladies and their husbands who have to go on the show credit, because they are putting themselves on camera just the way we are. We're on a YouTube platform. Not everyone's going to like us. Most people would think we're good looking, just because that's the way it goes, baby. But you know,
I'm giving curly Q and everything.
Do it, brother. But see, that's the thing. When you put yourself out there, it's a hard landscape. So we're going to get into the meat and the potatoes of this episode. However, I give such credibility to any of the Real Housewives of New Jersey for coming on this show and putting their lives or some of their fake lives on the show. But we will talk later.
And whether you're watching us live or you're watching us post-recording, if you hear this word on today's episode, feel free to take a drink of your mimosa, since we're still early in the day. But if you want to do a shot ski, that's on you too.
This is water, but next week it might be vodka. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, next week.
Channeling Marisol, the Real Housewives of Miami.
Oh, yeah. We need to get her to talk on our show. She's a cast member that's fun. We'll work on that. Yeah.
So the episode initially starts with Danielle and Rachel. They go shopping. They're kind of like, mingling between each other.
Mm-hmm.
What was I do like them as friends.
Yeah.
I like them interacting. I like what they have to offer for each other. What was your take on the scene and the things that they spoke about?
I mean, it's the perfect bond. You're the newbies on a show that has had the same cast member for 5 years. It's I know you could relate to this when you did your television show and the projects that I've worked on. When I have friends that I still talk to this day from a project that I've worked on, because it's such an exciting thing. What excited me about the scene is the complications that, while we know in theory they should have each other's back and be down, like, oh, we started this together, we also know that they're going to travel in completely different lanes and it's going to get really funny. But I don't know that I'm expecting or foreshadowing that they're going to be frenemies, but I'm also very much here for that. Like, hey, we got to hold each other down. We're the youngest on the show. But clearly their alliances with the other cast members are completely different. And, I thought I liked seeing Rachel look at Danielle like, she's a little funny. I mean, she didn't say that, but that's the reaction I got. And one of the things I love with the cast member is it's very easy to be like, especially when you audition and try to be on these shows, I'm loud, I'm that chick, da 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 da, and clapping your hands and all these things. But when you give that subtle, dismissive, unbothered personality, which Rachel was giving, I kind of was into it. So I'm not taking anything away from Danielle, but I was very much into Rachel this episode.
Going to Danielle, this episode, I was almost disappointed in her reactions in a couple of things. I appreciate her as an individual. We love her personality. We love her husband.
Oh, Nate, yes. Nate Dogg. yes.
Her husband. But there was a couple things that she was kind of skirting around this episode that I was like, well, I don't understand the defense with it. I also understand that you're living a reality /real/television produced life on camera.
Mm-hmm.
So I also understand that aspect about it. But hey, coming from someone, or I mean, you and I both can relate on this. Coming from someone who has had disagreements with your brother and sisters, like it's just something part of life. It's something that comes with life. We all go about it. Like anybody who has a brother and sister knows that you're gonna have an argument at some point.
Yeah.
Whether it's over something so simple of using a hairbrush, stealing the last bit of toothpaste, eating your leftovers in the fridge. Like there's so many layers that come to this. But you put this argument on national television.
Yeah.
And so therefore there's going to come scrutiny. Your cast members are going to know about it. They're going to have their takes on it. And again, she hasn't given us the entire story of what happened. So all anybody on the cast can do is give their theory based off of what they think. Now, when it comes to alignments, when it comes to Rachel and Danielle, the loyalty there, I'm bothered by it. Almost.
Wait, that they're loyal to each other?
That they're loyal to their allies. Because when you're the newbies in the group, I think your take should be on it is you should take everything with a grain of salt. And like my mother said, don't ever take someone else's information and rely it to them. Don't take someone else's information and rely it to the person who they're speaking about. Because last thing, like if I went up to someone, I was like, that Ronnie Jr., I don't know if I trust him entirely. He and I have a history and we just don't like each other. And then you and that person become best friends. Then I'm the bad guy.
Yeah. There would be a way to say that. And that would be like, listen, my experience with this person has been a bit rocky, but knock it out the park. See how it works with you. But when you start like running around creating things,
creating the escape.
Create the Escape on Peacock streaming platform, starring Russell Ray. No, but listen, yeah, it's going to be interesting. That's why I kind of didn't really like focus in on it. I just thought, in terms of what you're asking, Danielle and Rachel, this scene, it feels good because it feels like, will they go a frenemy route? I don't necessarily know that I want that to happen. I almost am like more, no, let's let them be down with each other and just have their separate alliances or whatever the case. But it really is the perfect part of reality TV where the rest is still unwritten. So I don't know. But what I will say is, yes, I squinted at Danielle a smidge too. Like, Danielle, no, you got that husband, Nate, and we like to see Nate. But Danielle, come on, Danielle. That's how I felt that too, Russell. Coincidentally, I also was like, oh, look at Rachel. Rachel's like, she's fun. I want to hang out with Rachel. That's what Rachel was giving on that scene. So that's all I got for the beginning. But yeah, that was it.
And you know what? I get real from both of them, but I also get real and guarded from Danielle, and from Rachel, I get real and protective.
Okay.
And the difference there is being guarded means that you give out bits and pieces of information, but not give out the whole piece of the pie. And Rachel, on the other hand, will give you the whole piece of the pie because she just doesn't care.
Do we think Danielle so this critique,
she protects her own.
Love it. Yeah, with the family, right?
Yes.
Do you think Danielle, this is a healthy critique? Because we love Danielle, one of the best new cast members. But do you think, because she's talked about how, like on not Jersey Shore, the Staten Island reality show she did years ago, even before there was a Jersey Shore, which sort of painted the picture of, they're obviously different shows, but like this type of character on television. And she said that like coming back, Staten Island didn't receive her, which, that stuff like that happens. People come out of their hometowns, they go to be on television. The hometown's like, you try to represent us like that. We don't necessarily say that was the depiction of us. So I don't think she necessarily had a good run. I mean, these are even her words. She's mentioned this on Watch What Happens Live. I don't think she had a really great run. Actually, she said this on a couple interviews on the first series that she did. So what I'm wondering is now, is she putting all her eggs in this basket because she's like, I'm going to get in. I'm going to hitch my, what is it called? What is it called? Hitch my
15 minutes of fame?
No, when you hitch your wheel to something. What's the term? Corey in the chat knows. When you hitch your wheel to something.
Your trailer?
Yes.
Your fifth wheel?
When you hitch yourself to it. Anyways, who cares?
Look, we're gay. We don't know these terms.
But yeah, but the hitch your thing to the thing. Hitch the thing to the thing. So the bigger.
Angela Bassett did the thing. Angela
Bassett did the thing. Yes. Oh, I love Ariana DeBose. But listen, I think maybe she's putting all her eggs in this basket to like hitch herself again, with like the Teresa and Jennifer Aiden, that's guaranteed television time. So with that, you just don't know how authentic she's going to be. She might be better TV. Will she be 100% authentic like we first thought? That's just a question. That is not an accusation. Danielle's still top 10. I mean, so 1 out of 10, she's still a 10 in my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's great, and you brought up a very valid point that I didn't necessarily register, and that's a good point to have. And who's to say that you want to claim your hometown anyways? So those people who come for Danielle for representing her hometown in a certain way, maybe you don't realize what type of person you are in your own hometown.
Well, so, I mean, that's a little more. Though, that's a little more shady. I wasn't going on. I wasn't.
I'm going the shady route, and I'll tell you why.
I wasn't saying it's her fault, though.
No. I'm not saying this in regards to Danielle. I'm saying this about her own community. Going back and them coming at her a certain way, maybe you're actually a certain type of way that you didn't realize. So you being mad at Danielle for representing you in that manner is actually what you are. But now that you're seeing it on television, you don't like it.
That and Staten Island just don't get down like that. Like, you know, the 7 years I lived in New York, I went to Staten Island twice. Like, and that was like too many times. It just is, you know, it's cool. Like do it up. But no. But I had to go there twice for two work events. The same project. It was a reality show, by the way, where I was working in the production space, but that's not really what I get. That's a part of it. But I guess what I'm saying is, Russell, so like for you and I who have done television, it's kind of like saying, if we get another big opportunity, we're going to seize it. And I think that's what I'm saying she's doing. She's like, okay, I did this opportunity. I mean, how much do you feel? Let's talk for Danielle and advocate for Danielle for a moment. I did this show called the Staten Island whatever, True Life Staten Island.
I'm a Staten Island girl.
And then and obviously again, not the same show, not the same audience, but they definitely casted Vinny from the Staten Island. They casted Angelina from Staten Island, put them on the TV show The Jersey Shore. So how am I going to feel if I did this show and I missed out on my opportunity where I did this one-off reality show, didn't get any love from it, but then a couple years later, these other people from my, you know, not same neighborhood per se, but like from Staten Island, they get to go onto the Jersey Shore and make millions. I'm honestly, when I get my next big break, I might be a little bit petty with it. So I'm almost like defending Danielle in that way. Sorry I went on a tangent, but that's just kind of how I feel.
It's totally fine. And again, to your point, I understand now why she would only give us bits and pieces and not let the floodgates open entirely, because it makes sense. I have my own hangups with people, so I understand that.
Yeah, and she might even be hustling us all. See, whoever listens to our show, and this is why you're all so silly when you come into the comments with the opinion of Ronnie. You gotta listen to.
Go ahead, Ronnie. Give it to him. Hold on. Let me give you a sound effect. Hold on.
Ooh.
Ronnie is coming, baby. Hold on. That's how
I am a sweet peach. But listen, you have to listen to the entire show, because you'll see that we're like trying to assess and equate, like, ooh, maybe Danielle, maybe she's hustling us all, and maybe she's a little bit smarter than we think, you know. Not that we don't think she's smart. Maybe she's like, I'm gonna give little bits and pieces of this issue. I'm gonna let everyone be like, that don't make no sense. But she knows, wait a minute, she has a story that is similar to the Joe Gorga and the wife part, and you know, and it would be Teresa to her Danielle.
Yeah,
maybe this is like part of the plan. Like she could have came out with it day one, but like there goes the build up. Want to blow your load. You gotta, you know, she knows how to ride it out. You know, she got Nate in the bedroom. She knows it. Danielle knows how to ride it out. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. Danielle, we love you, baby. Oh yes. She knows how to ride it out. That Danielle does. On the Jersey Housewives, she knows how to ride.
The things that come out of our mouths on this podcast, for anybody that is watching, are definitely mature. We're gonna say 16 plus.
Maybe it is vodka. I don't know.
So if you're 16 plus,
yeah.
Go ahead.
But anyway, good scene. I love the two new characters. I love Jen Fessler as a new character as well. So far, so good.
Speaking of Jen Aiden and Bill went to counseling, and they continued on the conversation at home. Now, I definitely don't want to wish bad upon anybody, because I don't wish bad upon anybody's marriage. I came from parents that are separated, and it's a rough journey. It's a rough journey to find your place as a child, to find your place between both parents, of trying to keep them both happy, but maintain the same relationship that you had when you're coming home to the same house, it's a
Mhm.
little different when you're going. And then not only that, but then moving out, having my place, and then having their places. It's like boom, 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 boom. It's like a pinball machine, right? But I do like that Bill kind of brought the moment for full circle when
Yeah.
Jen Aiden called him out about not being so vocal in counseling, and he reassured her that they're doing okay, that they're in a good place, and that that's really all that matters. Anything else can kind of be handled. And I, as much as I don't enjoy Jennifer Aiden, I do appreciate Bill in a lot of aspects. And I do appreciate that Jen Aiden goes ham for her kids, and she really does raise them, and she's there, whether she has housemaids or whatever. She's still there for her kids 24/7, and it's still a
Mm.
hard job being a mother. So full credit to her. But I also appreciate Bill's wisdom and sense of calmness to take a step back before immediately exploding and going off on something that he might not entirely agree with. What's your take on them as a couple?
Mhm. Well, I gave the credit last episode saying while I am not a fan of Jen Aiden, never have been, never will be, I thought the therapy scene was it added aspects of that was very telling. You know, we could really see a little bit further into what stuck with Jennifer, even though she went a little harder than maybe necessary. But then again, it's therapy. Why not? What I think happened is all that information was disseminated, and Bill was able to receive it, and that's why the next talk that they had, which is what you're referring to, it went as well as it did because it allowed him to process and express his side of it too. That's one of the things that I think she maybe could work on a little bit. And this is coming from somebody who does not like her as a cast member, but I will say, like, you always want to give hope, especially in a marriage, like you say. She kind of, at least in this show, because we could only go off what we see, her grievances were kind of 0 to 100, even though she probably has been telling him a lot of it, but the
Mhm.
way she delivered it, there you go. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. And maybe that's a little bit of a pressure to make a scene. This is a reality show, but she came to him a little hard, though I enjoyed the therapy session last episode more than this scene. I thought this one was more redundant, but I am glad Bill got to express himself. Yeah.
So am I, and I think he's actually found a good place with him and the boys, and his place in the Housewives. Although it was brought up that he did have a infidelity,
Mm-hmm.
I still think that he does great and he gets along great with the guys. And I know some people are going to hate that I'm going to say this, but boys will be boys, just like
Mm-hmm.
girls will be girls, you know,
Yeah.
whether you're the girls or you're the girls, you know, you're going to be that. And it's only fair for us to say that, because you can't say, oh, girls will be girls. The girls are going to be the
Right.
girls. And you can't say the boys are going to be boys. The boys are going to be boys and the girls are going to be girls. But
Yeah.
it's that niche of the type of men that they represent, which is fun because they all actually intersect and intertwine with each other very well, including Paulie and including Frank, which we'll get to later, because Frank is in his feelings, and I am like, ugh.
I know we have to be critical of Frank in this episode. We'll get
We
there.
do. And I love Frank. I love him. But I also love that Brittany was part of it as well.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So we'll get to that in just a minute. But first, some Social Pop Now news.
Oh, social pop now. News. Look at, we got the voiceover right there.
Social Pop
Free.
Now news.
Free as charge.
Okay, let's do this. Welcome to Social Pop News Now. I'm your host, Russell Ray. And in today's Housewife news, we actually have... Where was I going with this? Sorry, it's live. Anything can happen live. So,
Can I laugh? I'm enjoying the show. Where's my popcorn?
Okay, welcome to Social Pop News Now. I'm your host, Russell Ray. And in today's Housewives news, Teresa is calling out her brother, Joe Gorga, for allegedly interfering with a business deal with Louis. Teresa blames her brother for causing the mishap and causing Louis to lose $250,000. It's supposed to be revealed on episode 8 of The Real Housewives of New Jersey. Until then, we will keep you posted and we will follow this story. In other news, Martina from The Real Housewives of Miami is officially cancer-free. After a long battle with throat and breast cancer, Martina came online and officially made a statement saying that she's in her last 2 treatments. She's feeling great. And all she knows is that there's no cancer left in her body. And we wish her well. knowing that you can find more information on the Real Housewives of Miami at Pop Culture POV and Randomly Ronnie Jr. And in other news, and here's the big shaker when it comes to the Latino community, Bad Bunny's ex-girlfriend Carlise de la Cruz is suing him for $40 million. She has coined the phrase Bad Bunny baby, and he's used it in songs back from 2015 and his concerts when he went on tour. And she is expecting some payouts from that as she did not approve. Now, according to De La Cruz, she sent him a voice note, which he then transferred over to his record and has then become a pop culture phenomenon with all of his fans coining the phrase Bad Bunny baby. So we're going to follow this story. And the first thing I thought when I saw this was Rush Hour when Chris Tucker gets on there and he's like, $40 million. Who you think you are? Chelsea Clinton? And that's all I could think about when it came to Bad Bunny. But I mean, she played her cards right, in my opinion. I think, she waited until her voice was really used before she filed anything. And she's a lawyer. So what do you think about that? Knowing that you and I come from the same community, like, is this good for the community? Is this bad for the community? Is this a come up for her? What do you think?
I mean, it could be a little bit of a come up part, which I don't exactly love, but that's the thing. Like, anyone could do a lawsuit for any reason. It doesn't mean that it has merit. It's a tougher one for her. I mean, I don't know the first thing in terms of like how that would work, but I'm just saying, in my opinion, it would be tougher if you're like, oh, I came up with the phrase that requires your name. Like for her to, how do you come up with a phrase that was based on his name? Like, I'm having a hard time siding with that. You know what I mean?
I guess it would be equivalent if you on Pop Culture POV or on Randomly Ronnie Jr., the girl who did your voiceover for your intro or your outro, right?
Yeah, it's okay. Paperwork's already taken care of. Thank you.
But that's why you do those things. And you specifically agreed with her.
Been in the business 20 years. I don't play. Yeah.
But you agreed with her specifically to do that for that reason, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't hey, send me, you know what? Do me a favor and send me this send me a voice note or
darling.
Or if I sent you a voice note that said, damn, that randomly is such a snack. And then you use that, and then you make millions and millions of dollars from it, and all your fans start yelling.
Right.
Damn,
then you would
that
have a thing. Yeah.
Such a snack,
Yeah. Well, maybe I should turn to the DMs because a lot of people do say what you said. So there you go. No. I mean, I don't know. In terms of the way you phrased it, like for the community, I think just Bad Bunny's contribution, just to I don't know a ton of him or his music. I mean, I know a little, of course. But his contribution to the arts does seem fun. It seems like a moment. Obviously, his music to the DJs was kind of an issue because there was too many people that would come and try to request his music. So that became an overwhelming thing. But I think he seems to be okay. I didn't know much of him, but I did just watch the James Corden carpool karaoke, and I'm not a big James Corden fan. I mean he's funny, but I don't really like get it so excited about the carpool karaoke. Okay. But Bad Bunny did he did the Ariana Grande Break Free. So I'm now sold because that's the anthem. You know what I mean? That's the anthem. And Bad Bunny's with it. So I'm good.
A lot of the Latino community is actually upset with him because he's dating Kendall Jenner, saying that he sold out to be with her. So everybody's saying he's on timeout. So and right off the bat, they're calling this case from De La Cruz filing against Bad Bunny the Kardashian curse, because it's historically been said that every time a Kardashian hooks up with any type of male celebrity or artist, their career starts to tank after that.
Oh, no.
And so they're calling this the Kardashian curse because now he's officially part of that family, saying that he sold out. A lot of fans are saying, you're in timeout. And a lot of fans are saying they feel like he deserved it. Now, in my opinion, I don't think anybody deserves anything. I think you can come to a mutual agreement to say, hey, you know what? If you drop this filing, let's settle out of court. Like, I understand where you're coming from. So let me help benefit you in a way, whether he makes her producers on the next couple albums, and then she's getting just payouts for the following years. Like,
I do hope everything is good with her. Right. And that actually goes to an aspect of, because you made a point that it kind of did catch me. You are coming up, and I don't know much of Bad Bunny's like coming up career, but you're coming up, and you're, with this gal De La Cruz, and and then all of a sudden when you hit the big time, you like transfer up to a Kardashian. That doesn't necessarily sit great with me, but also sometimes it just is the way and where you're at in your career. The
Yeah.
person who is trying to make beats in the back of their garage, may date somebody who's at that same level. I'm not trying to put anyone at a different level, but maybe, I guess the question is, who does Bad Bunny date at this point?
Yeah.
There's not as many open lanes. So, but yeah, he could have found a beautiful
Hispanic woman.
Latina model, or something
Yeah.
like that, or a plus size model. Like, it's all good in the hood.
Yes.
But anyways, Bad Bunny. I hope for goodness for the De La Cruz girl, and I also hope for goodness because Bad Bunny was giving the break free, and I just thought that was great.
Well, I do want to speed through this, and I do want to get your thoughts on the other two things that we talked about. So, just very briefly, how did you feel hearing about Martina beating cancer? I know you and I covered this on the Real Housewives of Miami recap over on your channel, and we were concerned when it first came out. And she was confident that she was going to beat it, but the fact that it was found in two places, she was a little nervous. So, where were you when you found out, and like, how do you feel about it?
I don't remember where I was, but I am very happy that those words could be stated. You just don't know for sure, no matter how positive the diagnosis is and how strong, someone like Martina is. You really just never know. And we've all been affected by stuff like this. In terms of her on the television show along with Julia, I'm just glad. I'm just very happy for these two women, Julia, who's the wife of Martina, and Martina, to have made it through the storm that they went through, because you don't wish that upon anybody, and it's not a given. It's not a given. So thankfully in this case, they did get through it.
Yeah, and I'm happy for her. As a tennis superstar, she's a legend. She has a lot to give, a lot to learn. A lot to teach, and in aspects of how she got to where she's at, and she has a lot to give to the LGBTQIA plus to LGBTQIA2 plus community, because she is a staple in there, showing that you can be an athlete, you can be a lesbian, you can be married, you can have marriage, you can be happy, you can have your happily ever after. So I'm very
we want to see Martina grow old many years into this thing called life. Yeah, she's fantastic. Absolutely.
Yes, we want to see Martina and Julia be the next Cana con Ganas that has gone viral on Instagram. The older couple that just dances all over the place and just living their best life. They went viral from dancing in a casino. But from dancing in the streets from dancing in the casinos to fighting in the streets, what do you think about Teresa and Joe? Teresa calling her brother out for $250,000 business loss for her husband.
I don't love it, but that's the element, I guess, of this show. You just have to make sure that any bit of issues that could come to the forefront like that have to be able to be backed in some way. Really dark or frustrating energy when it comes to it being through family, even though their whole premise of this season is the family doesn't like each other. But we'll see how it plays out on the television show. I don't love it when it goes that far away from the show. And this sounds like something that is going far away. It could have ounces of truth. It could have an entire amount of truth. I just hope that Joey Gorga could, do what he needs to do to remedy this situation. Yeah.
I don't.
It was such a tough question. You're like, how do I feel about it? I'm like, I just feel like, both of you do the show, make the money, have your beef on the show, but don't, when you take it, I mean, with what is the term? With friends like that, you don't need an enemy. With a family like that, you don't need an enemy too, is what it feels like. And I'm not trying to knock Teresa though.
And I am. Now that I think about it, there's certain things that are to remain behind closed doors. There's certain family business that you're only supposed to do at home. And I feel like Teresa blurs those lines so often. Not to say that Joe and Melissa don't, because, I'm sure that for every action, there's a reaction. It's only physics. It's only science. Like we understand this, right? So energy is neither created nor destroyed. It is just transferred. So when Teresa makes a claim like this, saying that Joe is the cause of her losing out on $250,000, and now we're gonna wait to see if it actually comes out on the next episode on episode 8. It's one of those things of, do you really want to go there? Because you're adding insult to injury and you're just making things worse. And what else? Teresa mentioned something else that she mentioned that Gia was uninvited, or Melissa didn't want Gia staying at her shore house.
Yeah.
And so then there's that whole situation. And so I don't like that Teresa's trying to create these alibis that are unnecessary. It's just very messy. And I don't like when things get messy. I like things clean, crisp, and concise.
I didn't realize the comment that she made had also to do with saying she lost out on money by basis of him. I didn't realize there was a connection there. I thought it was more like she was accusing Joe of a thing or something. I didn't realize it was a connection. And also, how I hate to say it, how do you prove that per se? But we've seen cases like that, not cases, but we've seen issues like that before on these shows. You know, you put my reputation, tarnish it on the television show, almost like defamation. Not that this is what that is. It prevents me from working. It's a real hard thing probably to prove, but you know,
I mean, once it goes down, it goes down. There's no coming back from that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And it's such a
yeah. By no means am I one of these people who says, "Well, you go on a reality show, you get what it comes along with it." I'm not really that person at all.
Yeah.
However, like kind of like look, how do I throw Jen Aiden in the mix on this one? But Jen Aiden's victimness of a true thing. It's a true feeling that she's got to deal with the 5 kids and the infidelity with Bill.
Yes.
But the victimness that she's, you know, oh, what was me? Margaret has done Margaret's the big bad wolf because she did this and now I'm destroyed, this, and this. It's like, I just stated, and I'll wrap it up because I know we got to get going here.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, by no means am I the person who will ever say they're on a show, this is what they get. I don't really subscribe to that. But there is a part of me that says when you do get casted or choose to get casted or someone submits you, you have to run and look and assess all of the liabilities that could potentially come with that thing. When you go on a show, you know that somebody can do something that could cause a $250,000, you know, it's a potential that somebody on a reality show, when a whole premise of a reality show is to come with the heat, and they can do something that potentially can ruin, you know, like whatever your product is. Let's say your product is like, I sell mugs with smiley faces. And then there's like, you know, somebody comes at you on the show and discredits that. Now, well, who's going to buy a mug with a smiley face from some person who's, you know, opposite of that? Their character's been sort of deferred on the show. So I just think a lot of the characters they are people. A lot of the characters need to understand that everyone's just doing a job here. And if you have a little bit of your own personal liability, that needs to be your own thing. I think Jennifer Aiden should spend thousands of hours trying to make sure that her youngest daughter is okay with infidelity and kind of mend that and mold that in a healthy way. I do agree with that.
Yes.
But to put it on Margaret was just on the show. And they always say, you holding a grudge with somebody means you're absorbing the pain, but you're what is the term? This is the second time I tried to do a term and I messed up. You're holding the pain, but expecting them to feel it or something like that. Yeah. You know, Jen, fix the situation. It was your husband who cheated. Margaret did come for the jugular, but this is a show that you came from the jugular. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. And
could you tell I have more compassion in my heart lately?
Same. You know, I think it's the season. I think it's because there's not a lot of sunlight coming out right now in California. And everybody says California never rains. It hasn't stopped raining since October.
I know, but don't you love it?
No, I don't love it. I'm pale.
Oh, look. we discussed this. You and I discussed this, and I said, "Oh, I love it." He was like, "Nope."
I love my tan lines, baby. I love my tan lines. I love my Speedo.
No, take me to Big Bear. Give me the snow.
That it makes my body look better because I don't have that much definition. But when I tan, it makes me look like I got more definition, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there's that. Let's go right into. Speaking of Teresa. Let's go right into Teresa buying her bridesmaids gifts. And it's from Jennifer Aiden's brother-in-law.
Yeah.
That was a little convenient for me.
Mm-hmm.
Again, if you're gonna buy these gifts and if you're gonna have these people in your wedding, that's fine. But take Melissa into consideration. Like, even though you're not gonna be in my wedding because you said you're completely fine with it, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay with that too. I do want to give you this bracelet because it does symbolize, moving forward. I'm moving forward with a new life. I would like to move forward with
Yeah.
us and our relationship and continue moving on. I do want you part of my circle. You're my family. I always have your back. Since you're my sister-in-law, this one is crafted a little bit differently than the rest because you hold a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
It's that simple. I don't know why they got to make this so hard.
The hard part that I got from Teresa in this episode was something, and actually it's funny because I watched the Bravo does the after show where they're actually speaking, and she was sitting there with Dolores, and the hardest part was this whole wham, wham, wham. I'm not inviting Melissa's family to the wedding, which was totally justified in Teresa's mind, which I won't even get into what I feel about that right this second. But then her saying in the same token, but it's so unfair that Joe has never invited me to their shore house or something like that. Like, not only was that tit for tat, but it was also like historically, when has Teresa ever wanted to stay or has stayed with Joe and Melissa? It's a lot. I personally am such a Donna Marco fan. I love all the Melissa Gorga sisters. Like, I am down for them all. Give me a spinoff. I know a lot of people ain't really with it, but I am with it. I am with it. Team Gorga all day, every day. This is just always what it's going to be. You know what? I'm not going to go on a tangent. We don't have the time. But Donna Marco is such a sweetheart on this show. She's a 2-time widower. Is that what you call widower? Yeah. 2-time widower, both from Melissa's father and, the second husband or whatever she had. Yeah. And I just love her so much on this show. I just think here's almost like a call out because you feel like Joe and Melissa, if they say it, everyone says it's like a petty or a complanatory conversation. So they can't really have an opinion. But since we are outsiders, you are doing this is me to Teresa in terms of this non-invite of the in-laws. You're gonna invite brand new people who you met 6 days ago and cordially. Now they don't have to go. They might ride out with their sister, or in Donna's case, the daughter. Which, by the way, was Melissa Gorga's birthday this week. So we're eating. We're eating. The pretty girls are eating this week. Thank you very much.
Doing the pretty girl walk, baby. Hold on, I have a picture. I don't know why she's in the middle of us. Is there a way? Hold on. Is there a way for me to adjust this?
I don't know if there is. You might have to take it into the good old Photoshop.
Oh no. That did not work out the way that I thought it was going to work out. My bad.
But throw the photo of her again. We have to, because there's a lot of fans of Jersey Housewives, but I don't know, around these parts it is Team Gorga all day every day. And I gotta say, Melissa, happy birthday.
What's going on?
We're having technical difficulties while I'm trying to say happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Queen Melissa Gorga. Happy birthday to you. She's the baddie of the show. People know it. They just don't want to admit it. They want to hold onto that tree so tight. Ugh.
I still don't know what happened.
He's like, there are some technical difficulties while we're trying to talk about this show.
Back and forth. And
yeah.
There was a lot going on.
My thoughts though,
chaotic, just like the luau.
The luau was beautiful. But again, I'm just sticking on that point. You're doing so much. And when you get presented the opportunity to be at the luau and see Donna Marco in regular life, which I guess Louis did see her in real life and did say, kind of encouraging her or encouraging Teresa, that's that part where your vindictiveness or your hatred with Joe and Melissa or your tit for tat, make them an error, I guess. That's Teresa. What are you going to do? Yeah. But then you see the actual, Melissa's mom in real life, and you're like, well, 100 years ago, they tweeted this about me. It's just like, wow. Like, who found the tweets? Which intern at Bravo was required to find the tweets?
Look. Okay. That is shady.
Yeah.
That is so shady.
I loved the luau. I very rarely get jealous of I want to be on set with them and I want to be there. I want to be at the Jersey Shore at a Melissa Gorga luau all day, every day. Yes. They were so pretty too.
Yeah,
Oh,
look at
so
that.
much fun. Even Jen Aiden was pretty. I mean, that is just saying so much. Oh, the queen,
Dolores is
Dolores.
glowing.
Mm-hmm.
The little photo booth they had. All the girls look good. This is Jennifer Aiden with. I hate that. Let me just get in the right spot. Can you lean the other way so we can get in the shot? Hold on.
Oh,
Let's. There we go. This works.
where do you want me to go? This way?
Right there. No. Stay where you're at because at least it gets us in the shot. Okay.
But I
So
don't see.
this
I don't see
girl.
you.
You don't see me?
No.
I could see myself.
Oh, no, you got to go the other way.
Like this way?
Yes, we are having a
No,
moment.
wait. This is
What
on
kind of?
my screen. It's showing me on the screen.
Okay, well, I'm telling you, do
Hold
what you
on.
want to do, but you might
Let
be
me
wrong.
check. Hold on. Let me check
What in the?
YouTube.
What in
Let me check
the?
YouTube to make sure.
What in the production live is going on right here? Okay, while you look for that, I'm going to just tell you. Here's my favorite things about the luau. We got to see a very fun Rachel. Rachel kind of did have a moment with Teresa, but that's not really. We don't bring that up as much. But Rachel's husband getting his chest waxed by Joe Gorga. That's the thing about it. What I'm missing. The Jennifer Aiden, the Teresa side of things, they just don't have fun like the pretty girls. And you know what? Rachel has chosen the pretty girls, and she's smart. She is smart for that because they have fun. I don't know why fun is such a hard thing for this other side. And it does trouble me that I like Danielle so much. And we talked about Danielle kind of being really in tune with Rachel and the newbies. But Danielle keeps going on the wrong side.
You know what? She does. I'm gonna take this.
I am fully like on one butt cheek right now, but I mean, we'll get through it.
Look, it's so funny because on my screen, it shows me. Okay, it shows me on if I'm here.
Okay.
But if I go
On?
here, it shows me on YouTube in the right space. So I'm just gonna stay in the middle, and we're gonna just take
What
this
in
down.
the Twitch live stream is going on? You're gonna have to do a Twitch
my
because this
God.
is the kind of stuff that on Twitch does very well. All this like hiccupy kind of stuff. And by the way, on Twitch they give you like little donations too. So we got to get you on Twitch.
Baby, donate to me all day. Go to russellraysilva.com to find out how you can donate to me so that I could quit my day job and do this full time. Okay. And then you can head over to Randomly Ronnie Jr.'s Patreon and make it rain, baby. Don't make it drizzle because if you make it drizzle, you shouldn't be watching the Housewives. So make it rain.
Yeah. Even Jennifer Aiden, I will allow her to donate, even though she's not my favorite of the Housewives. She can still donate though, because I am quality entertainment. That's just what it is. What did you think about the luau? I know you wanted to talk, and we are kind of running out of time. I know you wanted to talk about Frank and Dolores, and you being such a Dolores fan, I just loved the way she shut it all the way down.
Yes.
I mean, what a boss move. And it wasn't to make Frank look bad, but like, you're not gonna, if Dolores is saying that this new man in her life, whether he's the right guy long term or not, that's not the point.
Yes.
I've let you look at, now I'm getting mad, but Dolores is like, I've let you in. This time it's not going to go down that way. Respect it. And I'm sorry, but Frank is not respecting it, is what it feels like.
And I also don't like the fact that he asked Dolores to fix it.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
Dolores doesn't need to fix it. And I get it. Like, he contacted Dolores because he didn't have direct contact to Polly. Now, send a message over to Polly.
Yeah.
Through Dolores. Text Dolores, hey, Dolores, I'm trying to get a hold of Polly. Do me a favor, have him give me a call or send me his number. That way I can contact him. Boom, done, easy to the point. Again, I am like the guru of solutions, and I probably would not do well in reality television because I wouldn't have problems because I just deal with things and I nip it in the butt before it gets out of hand.
Russell Solution Maker Silva.
You're welcome. Stop going to counselors. Come to me. I will be your life coach because I can't be a certified counselor, but I will be your life coach and I will get you on the path that you need to be because let me tell you, some of y'all just don't know what you're doing with your life. But going back to Dolores and Frank, I love that Dolores shut this down because Dolores is not to be played with. I also understand Brittany's point of view as of, oh my gosh, I'm sad that you weren't staying with us. Now, I think it's okay to cohabitate together if you're two couples living separate lives and you want to go on vacation together because you have a good relationship. That is okay. Dolores did not stay with Frank out of respect to Paul. even though Frank's girlfriend was there. It's still an uncomfortable situation for Paul because he hasn't found his place yet in all the mix. All he knows is he's Dolores' man right now.
Yeah.
Right. And like, that's not even any tea or shade. Like, that's where he's at right now. Right.
Yeah.
He could be Dolores' husband. He could be Dolores' fiance. Like, moving forward. But I think Dolores made the right move. I think Frank needs to just take a step back. Again, establish your relationship with Paulie before you do anything else.
Yeah.
Because right now you're just making it complicated, and it doesn't need to be complicated. It makes great television because we talk about you. But it is just not the time or place. Like, just let it be. You're there with your girlfriend. Enjoy your time. Plus, you're probably going to be doing things at the shore house on vacation with your girlfriend. And Dolores probably doesn't want to hear that, be around it, know about it, know that it's going on. I get that as well.
Right. I mean, it's like, comfortable, or look at how far we've come. But, the great Kim D goes on David, our friend David Yontef, the Behind the Velvet Rope. I always tell you about David Yontef and all the guests that he has, but he has Kim D every week on the show. And Kim D on that show, Behind the Velvet Rope, was talking about, and again, I'm not going to put I don't know the exact wording, but it was something along the lines of like, this is a new thing. Like, Frank wasn't always down with Dolores this way, or vice versa. This is kind of a new thing that was convenient for the show. And this is again just Kim D on Behind the Velvet Rope. Of course, I would say check out Behind the Velvet Rope, but I'm sure everyone already does because it's such a big show. But like, when you think of that, the perspective of like somebody like Kim D who knows where all the bodies are, it's like you kind of got to think, Frank, not only are we down with Dolores more so in this situation, but also you kind of had a lucky couple of years where you were able to provide that part of the storyline for her storyline, I guess. And if that wasn't exactly what it is, this was, again, this was just words from the great Kim D, but it was apparent that this was kind of a new convenient thing. And we talked about it last week. No one wants to, you don't want to say it per se, but like, is he really hurt? Or is he hurt?
TV hurt.
Because he's going to be dwindling away from all that comes with this fantastic and fun show. I mean,
but that's the thing.
I don't want to say.
I think Joe and Melissa would find a way to bring him in on their side anyways when it comes to their parties, their events. How can I say, he's still an official friend of Housewives now.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that he would be still part of that because the boys are shot a lot on their own, and I think he'd be part of that regardless, and he's gonna have his say or whatever. Again, just chill, take a step back, let it happen.
You know what?
Fine.
You said you were the therapist Russell. I almost feel like he's creating more. Oh, life coach. Sorry. You know who should be a life coach too? Larsa Pippen. Anyways, we'll talk about that later. Larsa, the life coach.
Larsa, look, I will have to say, Larsa says some things that I don't agree with, but we will address that.
We will address Friday. That on another episode. Yes. Because... Did I tell you that in my head they should do a show on Peacock? I know we're going on a tangent, but I'll do it quickly. They should do a show. I put it on the bottom of Larsa's latest Instagram because she put a picture of her and Marcus Jordan, and they're in love and all this stuff. And I was like, ooh, hottest couple on Bravo Peacock, and I was like, they should do a spin-off series, Larsa, Marcus, Melissa, and Joe, called Couples Retreat or something like that, like Sexy Couples Trip. Fun. I would be so into that show.
I love that.
Yeah, that's should be.
Cute. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Because we don't get enough of that with these shows. Yes. The lovey-dovey. It's always like, oh, your spouse is, like too many times the narrative, unfortunately, is the Jennifer Aiden and your spouse's infidelity issue or whatever the case. And that's a true to life thing. People do go through that. Also, Russell ducks about it a lot, and I totally agree. And that might just be within our community. But, there's a difference in the way people carry themselves in marriages now and open relationships and stuff like that. I'm not saying anyone has that. But what I'm saying that Peacock streaming and Bravo is missing is that lovey, lusty, like, that's my boo. Ooh. And when I see Larsa and Marcus, I'm like, ooh, the sex is good. She had said how many times she hooked up with Scotty. We'll talk later. But my point is
just nasty.
It was the worn out thing is poor Larsa. Give it a massage. My God. But here's one thing this is gonna be another Melissa Gorga stan moment. Right now, they're painting every bit of picture. We don't know how this is going to end up on the TV show. Even Melissa and Joe don't know. They've lived it, but they don't know how it's going to look on the television towards the end of the season, this big moment. But can I tell you one of the first things I loved about Melissa and Joe? And it might also, sometimes you get attracted to things you didn't have growing up, per se. So I never really seen the affirming, like, couple kind of flirting energy. I don't really grow up amongst that. You know what I'm saying? So when I would watch a television show and see like a Melissa and Joe, and their whole like kind of flirting, but then also like talking shit, like even the way she was like, oh, you could go with that girl. Like people look at that. People in the Bravo world, unfortunately, look at that as like, oh, see, there's a crack in the relationship. And it's quite the opposite. What it is it's Melissa saying, I'm the baddest bitch in the room. I mean, not to put anyone down, but it's Melissa saying, I'm the baddest in the room. Joey, you want to go? You want to go with the hula girl? Go. Let's see how that works for you. Because I'm going to be with Alex Rodriguez in 10 minutes. Like,
I didn't see it that way. Okay,
you didn't see it the way I saw it?
No. Well, like I seen it partially the way that you saw it, but I'm not going to translate it the way that you did.
Oh my god! Did I reach? You could get me in line.
You reach, but look, when I
because I was passionate about that.
I was so gagged when Melissa was like, "You want to get laid by her? You can."
Okay, but what did that make you feel?
I was like, "Good for you!" Like, good for you. And I was like, "Oh, I knew it. I knew that. I knew what. I knew that there was not an outside source because I don't think they have an outside source. I don't think that they have. I don't think they have an open relationship.
Mm-hmm.
However,
I love a however. I love a however moment.
They're against a threesome. I don't think they're against it. I do agree with you in the sense of the flirtation of, oh, you want to go get that? Go ahead and get it. And like it's fun, it's flirty, it's smack talk. But at the end of the day, I don't think they would be against having a threesome with anybody.
Well, that's what you. Okay, go.
Because we are in this new generation.
Mm-hmm,
I don't think their marriage is going anywhere. I think their marriage is fine. I don't think anybody's getting divorced. But I do think that they're open to have somebody sign an NDA and make their way back to the showhouse.
Russell loves a good NDA story.
I love an NDA, baby.
This is the luxury I think we have. You know, you mentioned it quite a bit. It's like within our community, within gay men, like the stories are a little bit different. We know what love looks like in terms of, people that are together for 20 years, gay men together. But, things happen and, it's not the end all be all. Unfortunately, within other communities, sometimes that white picket fence, the, 2 kids in a garage and a dog, it's so structural. It needs to be one way only, and sometimes people could live in a different way. There's no insinuation that Melissa and Joe are doing these things, but if they were, me and Russell at least would not weaponize that. Now let's have some fun, Russell, before the show ends. Maybe clip it.
Hold on, let's get you a full shot.
No. I need your reaction. Okay, I'll start, but then you come in after.
We'll just get bigger shots like this.
Maybe because we love Melissa Gorga stan all day, every day. Thank you. But and so if they have problems, like they'll be good. But if we're gonna talk about the alleged Nick Bartola or whatever his name is, which I've already in the last episode said that it was, I don't think but whatever. Let's just say it was. Maybe it wasn't Melissa that was trying to get her back blown out. Maybe it was Joey that was like, bring Nick up into the fold. Let's have a party. This is Joey. Joey Gorga is an exploratory human being, and we're for it. We are for. I am.
Melissa Gorga, I am so sorry for this.
There was zero shade. I said that with all love, and that's love for
are
Joey.
You saying that you don't think that Joey would be against dabbling in the man pond?
I mean, for one, that's, this is 1981. That's not a knock. Like, as we always say,
it's not a knock. It's not.
We are the elite. I mean, the gay men, we are the elite. Thank you very much.
What you're saying is there's a chance.
I'm just saying
What you're saying is that,
maybe
look,
this
hold on.
whole juggernaut that they're trying to
Hold on, let
sell.
me get my chance ready for Joe Gorga.
He's
Let me
advertising.
get my
Russell's
chance ready for Joe and
advertising.
Melissa.
Yes. Listen, we're gonna work our way onto the show one way or another. We're like, we don't got a chance with Melissa, but maybe with Joey.
But here's the thing.
I was saying that as fun. I
Joe
was
would
saying that
not
as
be
fun.
against inviting us over for a good time because you and
Yeah.
I are a good time.
Yeah.
And you and I also have that respect and rapport with straight men.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about it all the
Yes.
time. Your roommate in New York was that way. One of my best friends, Garrett Moberg from Sweden,
Yeah.
he and I are like this, and we can joke with each other. And he's very bro-ish, but
Yeah.
it's cool because he can play with the jokes that I toss his way, and I can play with the jokes that he tosses my way.
Not
So
the word
I think
toss.
Joe would be about this. I think Joe needs a guest friend, which means a gay best friend.
Yeah. And listen, on a serious note, this isn't, people on these YouTube streets, they try to say prolific things to try to get a little viral moment. That's not what I was doing. I was saying, all of you who don't know shit about shit, Melissa would Nick. Well, we'll just wait till the end of the season. Whatever comes out is going to come out. If Melissa gets renewed, she's going to get renewed. If she doesn't, she's not. You all, these people, Melissa is going to shine regardless. This is what I'm telling you. Let it be a situation that's ugly. She's going to be pissed about it. She's going to get you all in a line and tell you where to go and how to get there. But Melissa will be fine. I was just making a joke that, like, I'm so tired of this. You just wait. She, Melissa was dating this one and this one and this one and this one. I'm like, well, how Joey didn't want a little of that action too?
I am.
Joey said, what that mouth do? Come on. But I love Joe. Like, Joe Gorga is a star to me. Melissa Gorga is a star to me. You can try Bravo or whoever. You can try. I'm talking way too much today. This water definitely had some vodka in it, I suppose.
Okay.
You could try
to sent you over something that you wasn't expecting.
I am drinking the Marisol collection, that's for sure. But we're just having fun with it because it is a thing that keeps coming up, and rumors. It's just what I've always liked about Melissa and Joe is they take what comes at them and then move forward. It is what it is. If you want to come with a rumor this or a rumor that, like, as far as I know, they look happy. That's not to say that some of the other cast members do look happy. You know what I mean?
I have nowhere to go but this little box that I'm in. All right. Speeding up to the end of the episode, what are our final thoughts? Like, I think Teresa's very calculated, and I think Teresa does things purposely so that it works in her favor. So, with that being said, when they all went home, when Danielle got upset that she was a topic of conversation because of her brother, and Jennifer Aiden and Teresa all jumped in the van and they all left together, and Teresa specifically made the comment, "We came together, we leave together." I think that was a dig at Melissa from last season when she said, why didn't you leave when I left? And she stayed behind at the storehouse when the whole argument happened.
Yes, I would equate that too, but also there goes the least fun people. Like, the fun continue to stay at the party.
Yeah.
Teresa, Danielle, although Danielle could be fun, and Jen leaving is like, did anyone even notice, kind of a thing? Like, it's not really that much of a big deal. Danielle, again, I want to get to the calculation of what it is. Is she like, oh, I'm seizing this moment? I had a hard, experience with the first reality show I did, because these moves in this episode weren't the greatest. And God bless that she got edited so good in the preview to make it look like she did the, where she put her hand out and she's like, come on, what are you going to say? And then that didn't actually happen in terms of what we saw. And by the way, we don't want anyone to argue. She's the one that was, well, she's lucky I'm not going to this, and this. But see, that's the point of the show. The show is a situational based show where you're put into situations that are less than, luxurious, and you're supposed to banter it out. And you're supposed to have the wherewithal to be able to hold back and restrain and maybe give a little shade or whatever the case. That's what the show is. This is why I never was really a Portia fan, when Portia, going back and forth with Kenya, and then Portia, put hands on Kenya. Even though Kenya was a little over, that's not what the show is. So I kind of feel like Danielle hopefully has a really good end of the season, because by doing that, she really kind of made herself look less than amazing, because now you've presented a thing where you can't go toe to toe with anyone, or else theoretically you're going to put hands on them, which you can't put hands on the people. That's not what the show is. So really, Danielle did herself a huge disservice. For the Danielle stands, this was a tougher watch, I would say. Mm-hmm.
I mean, look, handle your problems off camera, and then handle your problems off camera, and then see what the cast has to say about it when they get on camera. Because what's said behind closed doors and what's done behind closed doors, not that I'm encouraging anybody to beat each other up, but it's always better to try and know the unknown versus knowing the known when it comes to reality television. Less is a little bit more sometimes, because if you can handle a situation and they're like, dang, well, what happened? Like, did she punk them? Like, why are they so quiet? They don't speak up like they used to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I think we're stating these things as Danielle supporters, though, generally. So it's not really that much of a dig. If I was really being the most, I would, whatever. But I really do like Danielle. I just don't think this was the move. This didn't look. This now,
it wasn't a good look.
You know what it does, actually, more than anything? It like shows that somebody could get under your skin quite easily, and you have nowhere to go. Like you, or I mean, Lord forbid, because I don't want any violence in the show. Lord forbid you'll go to the things that you were. I won't say she was making threats, but she was making promises. She was making promises like if I do stick around, I'm gonna get violent, which is like there's no longevity in that for this show. Unless she feels like she's going to flip a table and be the new Teresa and have a 20-year career. Maybe she will. Maybe I'm wrong.
She should flip a barbecue. That would be fun.
She should flip Nate over. That's what we need to see. Come on. Oh, wait, was that? No, wait. What did I say? What did I say? I didn't say anything bad. What did I say? No, I didn't mean like that. I meant have a good time with Nate. We love Nate. Nate's a hottie. Like, that's what I was saying. You thought I was saying something? No.
Let me flip Nate over. Like, okay.
No, let me do it.
Now we're standing for Joe Gorga and Nate, and they're gonna be
right. By the time you and I are done with this show and talking,
all the husbands are gonna be gay.
They're all gonna be the girls soon enough, and we do not mind. Thank you.
And with that being said, we will see you next week, right here, for the recap of season 13, Real Housewives of New Jersey, episode 8. Again, you can find me all over the internet at Russell X Raymond, and you can find Ronnie Jr. at randomlyronniejr.com, Randomly Ronnie Podcast, or Podcast POV. And you can scroll back right to the beginning of our intro, and you can also scan that QR code with your smartphone. And
that's really good that you did that. I like that.
Instagrams. Yeah, it's cool.
A big shout out to Jen Fessler and all the wonderful plastic surgery she got on Watch What Happens Live. I see nothing wrong with it. People don't like the plastic surgery, but Jen Fessler is ready for the next season.
Baby.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get this money and I'm next.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Donate to my Patreon so we can step this up. Okay. I mean, I'm beautiful now, but come on. We got to go, Russell. Thank you for doing a podcast with me. This was fun.
All right, y'all. We'll see you next week. Bye.